Hello, I'm Stanley Finley, and this is my geology final project on wetlands. Okay, so for starters, what is a wetland? Wetlands are areas where water covers the soil or is present either at or near the surface of the soil all year or for varying periods of time during the year, including during the growing season. There are two general categories of wetlands that are recognized, and one of them is coastal or tidal wetlands, and the other one is inland or non-tidal wetlands. So right here is an image of a tidal wetland, kind of a little estuary out near the marsh and stuff. And here's a inland wetland, so it's kind of like a little pond, swampy area sort of thing. All right, so the geology of wetlands. Wetlands are lands where saturation with water is a dominant factor, determining the nature of soil development and the types of plants and animals and communities living in the soil and on its surface. The single feature that most wetlands share is soil or substrate that is at least periodically saturated with or covered by water. So this right here is a little like image displaying how wetlands work, and it's pretty cool, pretty good information as to how they work and stuff. And right here is a image of saturated soil. So it's basically just wet soil, like that. You know, it's not dry. And there's different types of soil that can be wet. It's there's a lot that goes into this sort of thing. So benefits of wetlands. Wetlands have many benefits, such as water control measures like water quality, flood abatement, and erosion control. And then wetlands also have benefits on people and communities, such as recreation purposes or partnerships. So ultimately, wetlands are pretty valuable. So right here is a picture of people hiking in some sort of national preserve in a wetland. It's like a little swampy area. I think there's a bunch of like cypress trees and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So that's from like the recreation aspect of wetlands, like very touristy spots and stuff, very beautiful land features. And right here is here's some kids trying to find the borders of a wetland, and this is very important for the next slide I'm going to get into, which is wetland delineation. So a lot of benefits for wetlands. All right, so this is the one that I ultimately want to spend the most time on, which is wetland delineations. I have a good amount of experience with this. I did an internship this summer for a architecture and engineering firm, and I worked with their environmental science department, and a lot of what we did was wetland delineations. And wetland delineations where you go in on a site, there's an easement, you have to walk along the easement and basically see if there's any existence of wetlands. Because if there's a wetland, then you have to write all sorts of permits and documentation, document that the wetland exists. And then whenever that comes, there's certain rules you have to do whenever you eventually start construction or working on the project at hand. So there's several strategies to identify a wetland when we're out in the field. One is looking at the vegetation. Right here is Arrow arum. It's like 100% wetland identifiable plant. So anytime there's Arrow arum, there's always a wetland. Another one that's pretty reliable is also the black willow tree. That's another pretty identifiable veg for wetlands. Right here is soil. Soil is another big one. So what you have an auger. This is me in this picture with an auger, like drilling down, trying to see if I can get into the soil to figure out if it's a wetland or not. But that's another big thing. So you take the auger, go down, see if the soil is wet or not. And a big way to tell if the soil is like grayish in color, then that means it's saturated and wet. And if it's red, especially around these areas, that means the soil is oxygenated and is ultimately not wet. So these are my sources, and that's my final presentation for geology. Thank you.